next story takes us to the United States, where we'll be talking about the intentions of the president-elect, Donald Trump, in the educational sector. One of Trump's campaign promises was to dismantle the Department of Education. The major question is whether Trump will dismantle the education department and what Trump's plans are for schools in his second term. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump plans to dismantle the Department of Education. He had this plan for quite a long time and even tried it in his first term as president. What would this mean for America's schools? How did we get here, and what could the future hold? Dismantling the agency would be no mean feat, as it will require approval from Congress, and he is on course on achieving this. The Department of Education was created in 1980 at the tail of the President Jimmy Carter's single term in office, as a payoff to the nation's largest teachers' union after it endorsed its unsuccessful re-election bid. The federal government has spent well over $1 trillion on K-12 education since the department's inception, while failing to improve students' performance. And Trump wants no part of it.
And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you.
The Department of Education was created to centralize education policy, ensure equal access, and improve the quality of public schooling across the United States. It also oversees everything from student loans to school civil rights enforcement. As you all know, every coin has 2 sides. Supporters claim it ensures a baseline of quality and equity. However, the department has been a lightning rod for criticism since its inception. Critics argue that education decisions should be left to state and local communities, accusing the federal government of overreach. This is not Trump's first attempt to dismantle the Department of Education. Yes, you heard that right. He attempted to scrap the agency in his first term in the Oval Office. However, his efforts got traction. While calling for the agency's reduction or total elimination, his administration advocates for school choice, promoting charter schools and vouchers. By scrapping the Department of Education, the federal government could send the department's budget back to the states so they can have more education funding to spend as they see it fit. That would allow for more local control and less wasteful spending on useless bureaucrats in Washington. Trump argues that American families know best how to educate their children. It's time to abolish the Department of Education and return power to states, communities, and parents. Trump believes federal oversight stifles innovation and local control. However, critics caution this would widen disparities in education funding and quality, leaving vulnerable students behind. So what could happen if Trump succeeded? Without federal oversight, states would have more control over curriculum, funding, and standards. Poorer states and districts could struggle even more to provide essential resources, while wealthier states and districts might thrive. Supporters argue this could lead to tailored education that better meets local needs. However, critics warn that it could exacerbate inequality. Additionally, federal programs like Pell Grant and Title I funding, which support low-income students, could face uncertainty. Critics fear dismantling the department could unravel decades of progress in educational equity. Trump argues that the Federal Department of Education is an unconstitutional waste of time and money. Its very existence arguably violates the 10th Amendment. Education appears nowhere in the Constitution. According to experts, state disparities could grow without a central governing body. However, some also argue that this is the reset America education needs. While some might innovate, others could fall behind, especially in underserved areas. Some prioritize innovation and local control, while others fear losing protection for vulnerable students. As it stands, the public has mixed opinions on this issue. In recent polls, Americans split on the federal government's role in education. It's a bold move toward empowering local communities, or a dangerous gamble with our children's future. One thing is clear. One thing is definitely clear. Only time will tell. Should the Department of Education be dismantled? Drop your comment in the